Welcome back to Artist on Art. I have the great pleasure of speaking with Karen Toole. Karen, thank you so much for coming in to the station today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here. This is fun.
Karen Toole is an amazing artist in her own right, and she also recently began a gallery space called the Art Loft.
That's right.
You've been up for 6 months or so?
I rented it as a painting studio in April. So yeah, we're about 6 months now.
And you've had 2 or 3 gallery exhibitions now?
We've had 4.
Oh, I missed one of them. Sorry. But they're great,
right.
folks. They are wonderful exhibitions. Just the cream of the crop that you've represented. Just wonderful work. In fact, I think I missed the first exhibition, and then I found you out during the first Friday, which is not this Friday, folks, like I had thought. It's actually next week.
Right, it's the first Friday of every month. The first Fridays in Santa Cruz are just a wonderful way to get out and see what's going on in town.
Yeah, it's an art tour, folks. Yeah. It's amazing. It's been 10 years now that Kirby Scudder and Chip started, and it's grown into an amazing event, so much fun. And that's how I got to meet Karen going into the Art Loft. The Art Loft is located at 1319 Pacific Avenue. It's on the 2nd floor. It used to be where the Perfumery's Apprentice used to be.
It's also the site of the first pop-up gallery that Chip and Kirby started 10 years ago, and it's a total coincidence. So I felt really honored to be in this space, and know that history.
Because you've had some great First Friday events there. I just love them. And the Art Loft is also above the Thai restaurant, right. The Pacific Thai?
Pacific Thai restaurant.
And that's, again, on Pacific Avenue. And you present local scenes.
This last show is called Local Scenes, and there are 4 other artists besides my work that are on exhibit up in the space. They're terrific. Our Sentinel photographer, Shmuel Thaler's work is in the space, and Barbara Bailey Porter has a beautiful display of her paintings, her oil paintings. Wayne Adachi, a prolific new painter, has brought me lots of yummy paintings. And then Patrick Woodman, who doesn't show regularly in Santa Cruz. I have the honor of having 5 of his paintings in this space, in the gallery. He normally shows in Carmel, so
But he's
really
a local
honored.
painter.
But he's a local painter. He's a local painter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Carmel's got the big bucks. We make the art here and then we sell it in Carmel. But not anymore, because we've got this great gallery space. In fact, we were blessed with quite a few wonderful galleries in downtown Santa Cruz. And now we have the Art Loft to be a part of this amazing group. Karen,
Thanks.
So you mentioned that you actually rented the space for your own painting.
Right,
your own studio.
Yes, I paint on large scale. 6 foot by 4 feet is kind of typical, and I've been painting in and out of my garages and bedrooms. Put the mattress up, start painting, then need the bedroom again, and back into the garage. So I saw this space and absolutely loved the skylights. And it was much larger than I needed for my own space, but I figured, okay, if I could just utilize that space and figure out what to do with the rest of the space, and let it evolve. That's really what's happened. It's morphed. I wasn't sure whether I was going to have drawing classes or figure painting classes or something in the space, and eventually people started coming to me, and it felt really wonderful to share the space with other artists and the way it's morphed. Yeah,
it's wonderful. Now, the first time I got to go to the Art Loft, you were showing a movie of an art project that you did. That you are a painter, but you also worked in other medium in particular.
Yeah.
You made a little park.
I did.
Would you mind telling the dear audience about, Karen Toole is telling us about this wonderful project that is there for us on Westcliff?
Okay. Well, I suppose that if you connect the dots backwards, what I do is I transform spaces, and a canvas is a space. It has a particular frame. This particular space on Westcliff Drive was it was having some real challenges.
Well, let's just locate it real quick for people.
Okay.
Where is it exactly on Westcliff?
It's a little park towards the lighthouse. If you're walking up Westcliff Drive from the Dream Inn, it's the second little bump out. It's before you get to the surfer statue, and it's about an 80-foot long little garden.
It is now, but it wasn't when you first found it.
No,
It
had just some large bushes and the 3 memorial benches that are still there, or that have been replaced and put back into the space. The large bushes were not native plants, and the city and neighbors had real problems with people sleeping in the bushes, leaving their paraphernalia, broken bottles, needles, that sort of thing, and intimidating people walking along Westcliff Drive. So, I saw this opportunity, right, to present a concept, and it was accepted. I think timing and a vision worked in my favor.
And so you presented it to the city?
I presented it to Parks and Recs.
Parks and Recs,
and I did a charcoal drawing, like an aerial view of what I thought it could look like, and brought in a 3-dimensional model, about a 4-foot 3-dimensional model of the park, complete with plants and stepping stones, etc., and described to them what I thought the use of the space could become.
And that was?
That
as a meditative sitting space?
Okay, it's multi-purpose. I felt a real strong sense of responsibility. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of property, with an incredible scenic view, one of the best in the world. And so it needed to emphasize at the site, the vista. But I also saw it as an opportunity to educate people on our native plants. And I wanted it to invite young people, particularly kids, to explore. But, we're all kids, right? So my concept was that if people wandered across these stepping stones, they would get a sense of walking through tide pools and discovering the things around their feet. So in this case, it's seashells and sea glass embedded into the stepping stones, and then the native plants around the stepping stones, and they're really rich. It was like a graduate course for me in the plants, in the plant department. So there's fern-like textures of the yarrow and then different grasses, so a variety of different colors of greens.
And this is made out of concrete.
The stepping stones are made out of concrete. It was an elaborate process. I had a fabulous partner, Tom Ralston, Concrete. Tom brought my model to Sean Moynihan, who's a bronze worker, and brainstormed on how could we get these craggy edges to look just like the cliffs below.
Just like a tide pool.
Just like the tide pools. What we did was they borrowed these big boulders from granite rock and turned them catty corner up on their sides, etc., built frames around them, and poured rubber molds. The rubber molds were then brought to the site, brought to the park, and then we poured the stepping stones in place. So it was an elaborate process. We can only do 2 or 3 of the 15 stepping stones in one pour.
So it was five different steps to just pour the...
At least 5. Sort of like making pancakes, though. The first ones we went back and we broke up. And we started over because we got more and more proficient at it. Tom and I developed more trust in one another's visions, and his craftspeople were given more freedom once they understood, okay, this is what our direction is, what our vision is. So we were able to push the boundaries of the concrete, if you will. We put holes in the sides so that we have succulents. They're actually Dudleya live forever, growing out of the sides, just as if the same plants that are over on the cliffside that one rarely sees.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And you can barely tell it's concrete. The colors are so beautiful. It's not like you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's truly you created art using concrete and
right.
These plants.
Yeah.
Beautification, it helps the world in so many different ways.
Well, multi-purposes, I think, are really important in public spaces. And actually, that's what I'm hoping to do with the Art Loft too. Is have a variety of different kinds of events and shows.
What else you've got coming up? So we got September 6th.
Yes.
Is the Natural Bridges High School coming to...
Right, and then First Friday.
Yes. Is big fun at the Art Loft. Again, that's 1319 Pacific Avenue. Second floor.
Yeah.
And then September 7th at 10 o'clock, if you want to come out and help plant and upkeep this beautiful park on West Cliff, there's that. And what else do you got?
Then October is Open Studios, so my space will be open for my own work in Open Studios. And then I have a big project that's that I've been kicking around. It's regarding the water topic, desalination or not to desal, and conservation. I've met with a number of different people. I was actually approached by some artists against the desalination project, and they wanted to show work in this space. And I thought that it'd be better to have a conversation, a dialogue of the pros and cons. It's since changed a bit in that I'd like to see alternatives be represented as well. So what I'm hoping is a really good visual show of what Santa Cruz artists think we could do, and how they would how they respond to our need for water. So I'm really excited about the possibilities.
I'm really excited about that too, Karen. I really feel strongly about the need for the community dialogue to find some alternative solutions that will help save the water for our future generations, without having to build this monstrous thing of an incredible amount of expense. And art is political, folks. I mean, that's what it is.
Well, it can be. It really can be. I'm hoping that my goal is to have a juried show, and I have a couple of fabulous people that I've been talking to. So the goal is to have artists submit works, and that in itself will bring other people into the conversation, make an awareness. And I've raised 4 daughters, and what I've learned from that is that people respond to different kinds of information, whether it's verbal, visual,
video.
Yes. You may not reach somebody one way, but you might reach them another way. And visual art is a tool to bring people into a conversation
with information.
With information, yes,
as they're being informed.
Yeah. This show has the potential of having lectures with it, so we can get different speakers that are very knowledgeable on the situation in our area. Yeah.
Because we have some interesting site-specific resources here. The fact that we are in a rainforest and that we have this incredible river and water, our whole aqueduct here in Santa Cruz and Santa Cruz County gives us the opportunity for this multi-pronged kind of approach to conserving water, which is going to be becoming a worldwide issue as global warming happens. Karen Toole here in the house from the Art Loft Gallery that can be found at 1319 Pacific Avenue. When is the gallery open for the public?
That's a really good question. I'm trying to stay open at least 5 days a week from 12 to 5. So Tuesday through Sunday kind of thing. Obviously, First Fridays, the weekend of First Fridays, I like to be open the whole weekend so that people can bring their friends back if they saw something and want to share it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, as I mentioned, the first exhibition that I had the privilege to see at the Art Loft featured a video of the making of your park and your team of people. Where can I see that online? Is that available?
Yes, there's a YouTube of it.
Great.
I'm going to have it up on the Art Loft website, so that would probably be the best way to find the YouTube. Otherwise, they can Google Westcliff or YouTube Google Westcliff Garden.
Coastal Garden will probably get you better. Do you have a Facebook page?
I have a personal Facebook page,
but you don't have. You have a profile, but you don't have your page yet, and hopefully that'll happen soon.
I will do that.
Yes. I'll be happy to help you with that. Karen Toole. I had Catherine Sigurdsson, and now I'm having Karen Toole here at Artist on Art. She opened up her art space. When was your first exhibition?
In May.
For our community, and I thank you so much for that. Let's just talk a moment about these large-scale paintings that you do. You use oil?
I do use oil.
So luxurious, your paintings.
Thank you.
They are, in my mind's eye, I see them as capturing moments. Is that a good
moments or feelings that are hard to articulate, that one or two words doesn't quite say it all, so it's an essence of a feeling that I aim for. And they're personal, so they're like profiles, if you will,
figurative.
Portraits. A lot of my paintings have a figure in it, but not all of them.
So the one that I have in my mind's eye that you showed at the last First Friday, which I believe is still up, right? Is that
yes?
That exhibition is still showing,
right?
And it is a moment of a young girl on the beach who seems to be in motion, skipping, or she's...
If it's the same painting that I've got two with kids at a beach, but if it's the painting that you're thinking about,
and they're larger than life.
This is it's a 6-foot canvas.
It's a 6-foot kid.
And there's actually, do I have the right painting? My most recent painting has actually a boy and a girl at the beach. Okay, and it is a capturing of a moment, of a time. But I'm also thinking about sibling rivalry and gender differences. In this particular painting, the girl is digging and gathering, and the boy is going for water. It's this hunter-gatherer kind of thing, and it just fascinates me.
So, do you have a picture that you're working off, or is this a picture in your mind that you're working from?
I started with a collection of pictures, so I've dissected pieces from several pictures to put together that composition.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if there was one that I was looking at that was actually in the process of being finished, I think you showed me one of your canvases. Would you mind telling us how long does a painting take for you, especially of such large scale?
Yeah. They get going quite rapidly because I have a kind of a completed idea in my mind when I get started, but then the paintings start to take on their own personality and tell me what direction it wants to go to. They really get a soul, a life of their own. So I'd say about 75% of the painting gets finished in about a month's time. And then
that last 25%,
it takes several months of looking, putting it away, bringing it back out, arguing with it, making a little tweak here, going, oh my goodness, is it going to be mad at me now?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Karen Toole, thank you so much for coming in. She has a gallery, the Art Loft, at 1319 Pacific Avenue. It's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you very much.
So much. If you missed any of the information, you'll be able to find it at artistonart.com. Big thank you to Vanya Benavides for twittering and posting during this show. And please stay tuned for Whiskey Town. It's been great coming back, folks. Please stay tuned and have fun.